Well, that is that. France bow out of the 2024 European Championships, losing 2-1 to what I would have to say is the best team in the tournament, Spain. Before I go on and talk about France, so on and so forth, I'd like to congratulate Spain. I think they were by far the better team over the 90 minutes, the best team in the tournament, and they are 100% deserved winners. Anything that I go and say is not me going and, taking away from their win. I think they were deserved winners. The 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙏 kid, contender for the goal of the tournament. I think in my eyes, given the occasion and everything, I think it's the goal of the tournament. And then Dani Olmo there turning, 𝙀𝙊𝘾𝘼 and the French defenders inside out, putting a good shot, which he's going on goal. We can debate whether it's an own goal or whatnot. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter. Is what proves to be the goal that sends Spain through to the final and a chance to lift their 4th European Championship, which would be the record amongst European nations on Sunday. Now, with that said, to get on to France, the feeling I have is obviously, it's more so of this is what sort of it's hard to put into words in the sense. Because of the way France have been playing, everybody's been saying it's not pretty, it's disgusting, all that, and I'm like 100%. No, I'm not even going to kill myself beforehand. France today, even arguably, I would say, played their best in terms of style of play. Was the best on the eyes, and the only reason for that was because they went down, and so they needed to score. And that's been my word the entire time. And that, yes, this Didier Deschamps pragmatism, defending really deep, so on and so forth, getting the 1-0 and going through works perfectly well so long as you don't concede. The problem is, now once you do concede, if all you've been doing the entire tournament is playing really, really, really deep, defending, last-ditch defending and doing well, which, okay, fair enough. As soon as you go down one, okay, even though France went up initially, you can see 2 quick goals like that. Okay, yes, it's not ideal, but the game's not over. But even once Spain scored that goal, it did not look like France was likely to score. They had, a couple of half chances here and there, but nothing really clear cut and so on and so forth. I think at the end of the game, I don't even think France finished with an XG higher than 1. All right, and I know XG, we're gonna go and say, it's not all that, but actually it tells you the quality of the chances. So it's not even that, it was Spain were defending brilliantly and whatnot, and the keeper, 𝙀𝙊𝘾𝘼𝘎𝑚 was brilliant. No, it's just France weren't procuring good opportunities. Now, you can go and say that, Spain's XGs, I think when I looked last, it was lower than France's. But again, they did what they had to do. They looked the more threatening team of the two. And ultimately, the football they've been playing has been coherent and cogent the entire time. And even though they've gone down, it wasn't the first time they went down. They bounced back and they were able to do so. And my big concern with France, and even me going into the tournament, was that I felt that to a certain degree, you guys can go watch my video back, even though I thought that ultimately they're favorites and that their talent, so on and so forth, would be able to do so. My thing was, I think they were a bit overrated, and that this playing ultra defensive, the good thing is that when it works and you go through, sort of people can, jeer, say this and the other, but you can sort of tell them, well, show me your trophies. We won the 2018 World Cup like this time and the other. It's worked for us in the past. Get on with it. And it's like, okay, that's true. But as soon as things go south, when you lose the game, now it's like, there's sort of this thing. It's either you play well or you win. All right. And in an ideal world, you get both. You play well and you win. All right. That's the best of the best. But Didier Deschamps, being the pragmatist, says he'd rather go on and win by any means necessary. If that means, hunker ball, long balls, defending really deep, negative football, so to speak, so be it. The problem is that when that doesn't work and you lose, well, now it's like, well, not only have we not won, but we're also playing terribly. If we'd gone out there and, played our balls off, gone for 11 with shootout, and you lose 5-3, 5-4 in the end, okay, yes, you're still gutted, but you still went and you went for it. Even though in this game, you don't have that. And then my big issue as well is a bunch of the tactical changes. And number one, I have to go is Kylian Mbappe. If this guy was any other player, he should have never touched the pitch again. Or should not be starting for France, I would say, from the round of 16. Number one, he's got a broken nose. He's been saying that he's not top physically, that he's not feeling well. And then not only that, but the excuses that are coming out in the media and French media saying that, of course the nose, fair enough. But again, it's not like he broke his foot. It's his nose. Yes, I know the mask and whatnot, it hurts, so on and so forth, but it's not a deal breaker. several players have gone and played, you know, with masks on, and it hasn't changed their style of play so significantly. But as soon as it's Mbappe, well, now of course it's the nose, this, that, and the other. But it's not even, it's just like, you look at him physically, people now are arguing that, oh, he's got back issues. No, it's the fact that he didn't have a full preparation with PSG back in August of last season. Like this, it's copium. It's copium. Like, at some point, even though I like Mbappe personally and whatnot and so on and so forth, and people are going to say, oh, because he's gone to Real Madrid. No. I've been consistent. Mbappe is just, he's been absolutely terrible. We have to let's call a spade a spade. 𝙀𝙊𝘿𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙏. Mbappe this Euros has been absolutely disgustingly and trash. Mbappe said before the Euros that, you know, this was the Euros where he's going to go and leave his mark on the European Championship, so on and so forth. Well, he certainly did do so, but in every single wrong way. All right, he comes out of this. Yes, he got the assist, had 1 or 2 runs, so on and so forth, but just does not provide anything. And the problem is, Mbappe, the focal point, you can't bench him. You're not going to go and bench him, all right? And not only that, but we don't even know what his best position is, all right? People will say, oh, it's on the left. Okay, but then when he's on the left, because he doesn't want to do anything defensively, well, then effectively, the left-hand side is completely free for the team to roam, so on and so forth. And even when he's on his preferred left, he's not making the differences that he used to make. You know, Mbappe, you think back of like 2018, even 2022 Mbappe, he would go take defenders on, beat him one-on-one. You know, those runs that he was making against Kyle Walker, against England, against Morocco, all these things, beating defenders, going down the line, putting in crosses, so on and so forth. He's not doing that anymore. He's coming back, trying to play like the 10 creator role, come back, take shots. And there was one case in particular. It was 𝙀𝙊𝘾𝘼𝙎 was going down the line. There's an opportunity. And Mbappe, instead of storming, going into the box, comes back, steps back, tries to get the ball. I can't even speak. Tries to get the ball, you know, finesse, so on and so forth in the back post, and just completely gets it wrong. His runs are wrong. Everything about it is wrong. And at some point, like, you gotta go and say, bench him. And that's on the 𝙎𝙬𝙬𝙀. Like, you're at the end of the day, yes, Mbappe has the stature, so on and so forth, but you're ultimately the manager. It needs to be benched. And when you play him as the number 9, well, he's not a traditional number 9, so he doesn't get into the box. So it's going to sound harsh, but he's more right now, currently, this Mbappe that we saw at the Euros was more of a hindrance to France than he benefited. And obviously people are going to say, oh, that's hindsight. But like, I've been saying this since the second game of the tournament. Like, it's just, and it's sad to see that somebody like 𝙀𝙀𝘿𝘾, who, I have to be frank, I think in that left wing role did better in his little cameos, that one game he had against Poland, the little cameo he had against Portugal, as well as this game, the little thing that he did was more decisive and brought more fear to the opposition defense than Mbappe did the entire tournament, the entirety of the tournament. And I just don't get how people can continue to defend. There's other things, the fact that at the end there, 𝙎𝙬𝙬𝙀 decides to bring Dembele off, okay, but then you bring Giroud on. Dembele, who, yes, didn't have, you know, a great game by any means, was the only Frenchman before obviously 𝙀𝙀𝘾𝘼 came on that was, you know, providing crosses, whipping balls into, and is your most dangerous threat on the wing. And if he's able to go outside on the wing and put in crosses to who? When you take him off, you have Mbappe, Giroud. Again, my question is, okay, if you're going to put Giroud there to be on the end of those headers, what is Mbappe doing there? What is he doing there? He's not on the wing. 𝙀𝙀𝘾 is there. He's not going to go to the right side and do that. He's not going to, what is his role? What is his role in the team? He's become like this whole meme of how he's emperor, this and the other. It almost feels true. He has supreme reign. He does whatever he wants without any reproach. And it's fine when things are going good, like it was in the 2022 World Cup. But as soon as things go south, now it's on you. And now the thing is, the questions come naturally to 𝙎𝙬𝙬𝙀, and playing this ultra super low defensive block, negative football, quote unquote. Well, now it's like, the worst thing is that France got to a semifinal, and on paper you go say that's, you know, a decent run. But again, as many people have gone, and I think is a fair criticism, France did so by scoring a single goal in the entire tournament from open play. All right, they scored a penalty and 2 own goals. Entire tournament to get to after playing 6 games in total. After playing 6 games, France scored 4 goals. One of them was in open play. And you beat a Belgium. Okay, yes, you're, I would say, probably the better team on the day, but even then it was tight. A Portuguese side who, frankly, you were worse than. On the day, Portugal probably, even though I don't think they were anything great either, were probably the better team over the 120 minutes. You go through on penalties there. Okay, fine, we say you're getting it done. But now you lose to Spain, and if France had done this, won this game, same style to Portugal, gone to the final, won it again, we can go and say it's not pretty, it's this, that, and the other. It's similar to how it was in 2018. But at the end of the day, they won. The issue now is you've done all that, you've put all that, you've sacrificed to a certain degree, and you've lost. And I think it was no more evident than showing that France, we didn't have a plan B. It was play super defensive. Now that we've conceded, now we need to go get a goal. Well, we can't press. Even by the 70th, 80th minute there, you've brought in fresh legs and whatnot. Spain are just knocking the ball, tiki-taka, what you know Spain are great at, and there's no press whatsoever. Griezmann's going and saying press, press, press. And number one, that's on the players too. Like, you guys can press. But at the same time too, if the entire tournament and everything you've been in your philosophy has been, we sit super deep, we absorb pressure, and we hit them on counterattack, and well, now all of a sudden, we need to go and score a goal, and we need to get the ball back. Well, the players don't know. They're going on the whim there, and so that's on the coach. That's on the coach to at least not even have a backup plan. As if we go down, we have to have some mechanism, some system, and how we're going to press to try and get the ball back. Because even when Spain were knocking the ball, it's like they'll go string, go a minute long. France do not touch the ball, and they get it. It goes out for a throw, and it resets again. It's stuff like that where it puts into question. Yes, it works. It's pragmatic, so on and so forth. But again, I'd rather go and lose going after the game, and losing in a shootout than like this. And you go and concede, and it's like, well, you didn't even look like it to score, and that's the issue. And now the issue with though is that Didier Deschamps was most likely going to stay and going to be head coach for the 2026 World Cup. I said it before. I think after the 2022 World Cup, his contract had ended. I think that's a perfect time you leave, even though ultimately you didn't win the competition, especially given how you went into the 2022 World Cup with as many injuries as you did. I thought if France made it to a quarterfinal, I said that's it's fair to make it to the final and to bring it really, really to the end. I think at that point, that's the perfect time to bow out and say, okay, I've done my time. But no, he re-signed the contract. And the thing is, it's difficult to go and say no to somebody who's won you a World Cup, not only obviously as a player in his playing days, but also as a manager, and it has brought you probably the most dominant stint of French dominance on the international stage probably since that 1998, early 2000s era. To now, then when he goes and says, I want to continue, you sort of have to give it to him. But then now he's sort of holding the team, I don't want to say hostage, but sort of, because if he wants to continue, he's going to continue. Even though I think now I thought it was late, but I think now this is where you need a managerial change. And I hope maybe they'll have discussions and so on and so forth. But from what I've seen and what's echoed in the media is that the goal for the French FA was get to the semifinals, always make it to the quarterfinals. I mean, the semis. And once you're in the last four, well, we go on from there. And so long as he satisfied the hopes and wishes of the federation, well, we continue. And I mean, I wouldn't mind if he's still there in 2026, but I think that now's the time. You need to go and you need to change it. I think obviously Zidane is the biggest contender, and I'd be really interested in seeing what a French team with Zidane at the helm would look like. And so, yeah, apart from that, it's not even that you're sad. It's like you just go out and whimper, and that's the most disappointing thing. It's not like you go out like even though France lost in that 2022 World Cup, at least you went out of that game. Listen, we saw a great game. They battled. They gave it right to the end. It went to penalties, this and the other. This time around, you score early. You think, okay, this is 1-0. This is exactly what France. You scored early. Now it's just you defend and you hold on to what you have for the rest of the game. It's not going to be pretty, but hey, a win is a win. But no, you go and you concede a worldie from Lamine Yamal. Fair enough, it happens to all of us. But then 4 minutes later, you concede again. Okay, fine. Puts into question a bit of your defense, but okay, there's plenty of the game to go. But in that like 3/4 of the game left, plus you didn't show anything, and that's the issue. And so I don't know. I think French football, the French national team, is in an interesting point. It's not like a calamitous, not disastrous. I think France still has arguably one of, if not the most talented squads out there. But again, talent doesn't mean anything if you're not able to utilize the best pieces. Look at Portugal. We'll see what England obviously go and do. But like Spain, for example, a perfect counterpart. Don't I'm not that they have good players, obviously, but I mean, they've got a 16-year-old, a 20, 21-year-old in Nico Williams on the other side, a young squad, not, good players, good names, so on and so forth, but nothing world beating, right? If you did a combined 11 of the French team and the Spanish team, I would reckon that most likely you have more French players on there. And not to mention, if you go like, you do a combined 26-11 of the entire squads, well, then I'm like nearly certain that you'd have more French players. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. French, even though Spain at times, they might look robotic, so on and so forth, they play with an identity. And France, I'll go and say pragmatic. I'm all for that. But the issue is now that you've lost, there's nothing to fall back on, right? At least France had beat Spain. Spain can go out of the tournament head held high. They were the team that generated the most chances. They looked good. They played attacking football. Yes, defended when they needed to, but they went out, they went out swinging, so to speak. Whereas France, you go on whimper, and that's it, man. But yeah, that's my take. I already know people are going to go and say, womp womp, so on and so forth. It is what it is. But yeah, that's football, and hopefully we'll see tomorrow, as I'm recording this, an hour or so after the game's concluded. We'll see who they're going to be facing, whether it's going to be the Netherlands or England in the final on Sunday. Well, with that, I hope you guys see you in a new video or in a stream, and make sure to go and follow my other content. It's been a pleasure as always, and remember, stay safe, stay kind, and stay blessed. Godspeed.